Joe's Astrology. This is the birth chart for Mila Kunis. She's a Sagittarius rising, Sun in Leo, and a Moon in Scorpio. And I find this interesting with this Sagittarius rising. If you haven't seen it, she did a movie called Jupiter Rising, or she was in a movie called Jupiter Rising. And in the beginning of that movie, they explain how her ascendant, the part that she was playing, the role, the girl was named Jupiter because she had Sagittarius rising or Jupiter rising on her chart in her astrology. And it's kind of a sci-fi movie, but I find that interesting that in real life she actually does have uh, Sagittarius rising. So before I say anything else as well, I want to focus on that. And she has this Jupiter, she actually does have Jupiter rising, Jupiter Uranus, uh, right there near the ascendant in Sagittarius. I have this conjunction in Sagittarius. Hers is in the 12th. And as I said, that was like a sci fi movie. This is perfect for that. We see the Uranus being there. This would be, all the things that correlate with Aquarius, Uranus, even though she has no Aquarius, she would definitely be an Aquarius type person with that aspect there near the ascendant. And also because it's conjunct, that Uranus is conjunct the ruler. Plus, she has Pluto. In this chart, she has, the moon in the 11th. So that moon's in Scorpio, but it's also in the 11th, somewhat like an Aquarius house. And we can look more at this this Uranus. It's also making a a sextile to the midheaven almost exactly. And it's making a square to her Venus and a trine to her Mars. Then we can also look at the south node, which is at 23 degrees, conjunct Neptune, and Uranus is moving towards the south node. So very much an Aquarius, Uranian person. She would be progressive. She would be probably considered very intelligent when it comes to progressive and modern ideas. And we see she has a sun in Leo. Of course, being an actress, that's perfect. Often we'll see Leo involved in actors and actresses. She likes to be center stage. She has that kind of cheery, uh, happy-go-lucky look to her. I'm not sure that that's the case when you get to know her with this moon in the 11th in Scorpio. When you get to know her, you would see, and it's also conjunct Saturn there. And then the Pluto conjunct Saturn and Pluto Saturn in the 10th, you probably would see someone who's a psychologist, a deeper thinker, has a little bit of bite to her personality with that Scorpio. It could be, an emotional person, a detective, all the things that come along with being a Scorpio personality. And then we see she has this Venus, Mercury. Let's look at more of the intelligence of this person, or the association, a person who would be associated with being a thinker. She's got Venus in Virgo, conjunct Mercury. Mercury is in the sign that it rules there in Virgo. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and Venus is in his fall in Mercury. So we have a conjunction with Mercury with her Venus, and then we have Mercury in that Virgo, all being ruled by Mercury. So there's some, and it's in the 9th house too. So I just talked about this with Nicolas Cage with that combination of Jupiter and Mercury, and all that together would be an indicator that this person is, I would say, has more of a balanced mind, is a thinker. Balanced mind being between the right brain and the left brain. And we see that Venus is making a sextile to her moon in the 11th again being a house associated with the mind. With we think of Uranus and Aquarius, Uranus being the higher octave of Mercury. And as I said, all those things with Uranus earlier, uh, with Uranus being the higher octave of Mercury. Mercury, of course, is exalted in Aquarius. And we have the South Node. As I said, the South Node is in Jupiter. I'm sorry, South Node is in Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter, conjunct Uranus. So where she's coming from is very much connected to Uranus, Jupiter, Aquarius. And where she's headed, Gemini, ruled by Mercury, comes back to this Mercury in Virgo. So I hope that's not too confusing. There's a lot of stuff around the mind. We can even look at her third house, cusp, in this chart is ruled by Uranus. It's in Aquarius. So very much Aquarius is on her mind. I know people who have this ascendant, this Sagittarius ascendant, they very much are in cycles of thinking about Aquarian type things. It's usually often on their mind, whether it be they're on the internet a lot, they're interested in progressive, modern thinking, the advancement of, say, the advancement of females, uh, very accepting and open of diversity of experience with people, and occasionally into things like AI. I see that as well with people that have this Aquarius on the third house cusp. Now back to this North Node, it's in the 7th. It's ruled by Mercury. This also has to do with relationships. Very good fortune when it comes to relationships. I think with that ruler being in the 9th, she probably would relate to people who are very intelligent themselves or like to have these types of discussions. Of course, we see the Neptune on the South Node as well, where she's coming from, and Neptune's in the 1st, so definitely coming from this place of being an artist, an actress. She probably has some musical ability as well if she wanted to pursue that. And the Mars is making a trine to the ascendant, so she definitely has, and with Mars in Leo, coming into Leo here in the 8th, making a square to Pluto and Saturn, very much has courage, uh, strength of character, drive, and energy to uh, pursue her goals and make things happen in this life. We could also say that Mercury, as well, that ruler of that North Node, is squaring the nodes, and it really comes back to, she's really learning a lot of the stuff with her mind. She's learning by the people through the people that she relates. She's probably meeting people that are fated in the life to help her continue to uh, develop her mind. And she's got Venus retrograde, and that is also making an exact square to the ascendant. So, we see, well, oftentimes when I see Venus in aspect to the ascendant, it doesn't really have to be on the ascendant. It could just be an aspect. The person is a Venus person. They're very beautiful. They're very attractive. Venus person meaning um, they have relationship lessons to learn, but more specifically, they're just very attractive people. And I'm sure there's a lot to do with relationships with her, with that Venus retrograde. Could be some, we think of Scorpio as well being involved here. There's a Venus moon sextile. Could be some scandals or betrayal, cheating, and things of that nature in the life. Really redoing how she wants to think about her relationships. We see Venus in Virgo. That's why Venus doesn't really like to be in Virgo, because there's too much analyzing about relationships and this and that, and maybe she doesn't really do that type with this as well. She might be avoiding that type of work because she may not want to go into that space because, as I said, Venus doesn't like that. So you oftentimes Venus might just ignore it, and with all that Uranus and Aquarius, just might accept it. She just might see it a different way than other people see it. um, Kind of like a polyamorous thing. Not saying she's polyamorous, but just looking at relationships and the trading of relationships in a different way that's more positive and um, not as painful, not seeing it as something that's hurtful. So I'll leave it there. This is a mini reading for Mila Kunis. I hope you enjoyed it and have a great day.